Hi. Oh, there's Jesse. Okay. Jesse, you're muted.
You're
Jesse,
muted.
you're still muted even though you're talking.
Guys, I know I'm muted. I'm talking to everybody on Facebook. I'm trying to get everybody over to the Zoom.
Ah,
What I'm asking is like when you're underwriting it, how do you know it's going to be something you want to invest in? You have to look at what the economic driver is. And what would you look at for that? The project. How long? How many people?
Larry, do you know that everybody can hear what you're doing?
Oh, that's not, it's my other Zoom, my bad.
If you take
Hold on.
Hey, can you guys do me a favor real quick? Can we go over to like the Facebook group and the chat? I don't know how to let everybody know that we moved this party over to Zoom. But if you guys can go in there and just like make a post or something for me real quick, that would be super helpful. Or if you know anybody, like shoot them a DM with the Zoom link. That would be really helpful. Is Pansy in here? Where did Pansy go? See, I know Pansy was on this live. I'm going to message Pansy.
My bad. Sorry about that. I had the other Zoom going in the tiny house Zoom in the Chromebook. What's up, Jesse?
What up, baby boy? How are you, man?
Good. I need this shit today.
Just good? Not fantastic or great or amazing or wonderful or the best fucking day ever?
No.
that was really anticlimactic. You guys see that? Talking about whoo!
I'm being honest.
Way down.
I'm overwhelmed. Everything in that post was exactly what you said. I'm doing a bunch of $10 an hour shit instead of being the CEO of my company. I mean, I'm doing every $10.
Man, almost like I've been around.
Yeah. I needed this soon.
Well, I'm glad you're making the change, dude. We're going to be talking about that today, man. We are going to be talking about that today. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get started on this thing. But if you guys wouldn't mind helping me out, just take a couple seconds. Just go share this and go make a post in the Facebook group. Go share this in the Messenger group. Go shoot a couple people the link. That would be super, super helpful. Thank you, guys. Here's what I'm going to do. Ooh, Allison, would you do me a solid? Could you message Carlin for me really quick and just ask her if she can create a reoccurring Zoom link on our account?
Yeah.
And then we'll do our lives on a Zoom every week, and have Jen please add that link to our calendar.
Okay.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Look at my complexion. Oh my gosh, I haven't gone tanning in a while. I need to go tanning before I go to Dallas. I'm looking like I live in Alaska and I haven't seen the snow in 10 years or haven't seen the sun. Thanks for the smile, Devin. You're a good audience, man, as always. All right, guys. All right.
Jesse, we all got choices.
What do you mean?
You chose to live there.
I got it. No sympathy from Shannon. Got it.
Zero.
All
Zero
right.
sympathy. I flew that coop.
Oh my goodness. I love it. Well, good to see you. Thanks for being here, Shannon. How are you, by the way?
Yes, I am wonderful. I am fantastic.
I love that.
I am amazing.
Hmm.
I am lying through my teeth. No, it's good. I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Awesome. Let's get the chat pulled up because, as you guys know, on these things, I love to interact with you. All right. So before we get started, oh yeah, that's what I was telling you. Let me kind of reiterate this for anybody who missed it. Thank you guys. Thank you for sharing the link and making some posts. I really appreciate it. What up, Naomi? So yesterday, I took my daughter to dance class, and she has dance class twice a week. And on our way to dance class, she says, oh my gosh, sorry guys, that energy drink went down the wrong hole. On our way to dance class, she's like, hey dad, do you have my dollar? And I said, yes, I have your dollar. And I said, why are you so on top of me? Like, why are you on top of this dollar that I owe you, like white on rice here? And she's like, so I can get a snack. I'm like, so you can get a snack? And she's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, I get a snack at dance class every single time that I go. And I'm like, well, how much is a snack? She says $1. I'm like, well, what do you get? And she's like, well, sometimes they got Pringles, sometimes they got like donuts, sometimes they got Starburst or Skittles or whatever. And we eat pretty healthy. And my kids don't drink soda or anything like that. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll let this one go. And and then I started thinking about it. I had this epiphany, if you will, where when I look at at least the last month, probably actually, I guess we're halfway into February now, at least since the beginning of the year. Actually, even before that, I take that back. Now that I start thinking about this, she has been on this. What's the word here? She's been on this like tirade, trying to make money. Like her and my kids will go and create art. They will make mugs or they'll draw pictures and they'll go to all the neighbors to try to sell them. That's the cutest thing in the world. I'll be in meetings in here and I'll see my son, and it's like freaking 15 degrees outside, snow, as you can imagine. And I'll see my kids running across the street to the neighbor's house while I'm on a meeting with no coat, no jacket, no nothing, and just got artwork in their hand, and they're running to the neighbors trying to sell it. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, my daughter's name is Emery, and she made me reflect on, I don't know if it's I guess you call it a saying. You guys have probably heard, are you going to let a crackhead out hustle you? You've probably heard, a crackhead doesn't wake up without any crack and just say to themselves, well, golly gee, I'm just not going to smoke crack today. Now, granted, my daughter reminded me of that, but not because she smokes crack, guys. Okay, she's 8. But she reminded me of that because when she has dance class twice a week, at no point is she ever waking up in her day saying, well, golly gee willikers, I don't have $1 today. I guess I'm not going to get a snack. And it really kind of just made me reflect on her worldview. Now, I don't push a lot of the, stuff, mindset stuff and business, all that kind of stuff on my kids. I let them be kids. But this really cool thing has happened just as a byproduct of just like almost through osmosis even, where they've started adopting this mindset and these mentalities and finding ways to build skills and go take those skills, metaphorically speaking, to the marketplace, right? To the neighbors, to the people down the street, to selling lemonade on the block, to learning how to communicate and present themselves. And I don't, at the risk of sounding arrogant, like I've got the best mannered kids in public. They're phenomenal, phenomenal. And all they do is just emulate behavior. That's what's really, really cool. Because that's what kids do. They emulate behavior. And I want you guys to take note of this too. You can have the exact same results as somebody by not knowing a fraction of what they know, but just by playing the whole monkey see, monkey do thing. When you replicate behavior, you get the results that that person gets. That's something that's really, really cool. And that's a big testament to what I've learned as a father, to my 4 kids. And it really was just very impactful for me because I know there's a lot of you guys in here right now that are looking to find deals, looking to raise capital. There's a lot of things that my daughter and my kids want to do. And when I think about my daughter as an example, her ability to go find a buck, I mean, she's always got money. And I'm like, who's giving you money? Where are you getting this money from? But her worldview is completely different. She wakes up every day. She doesn't see limitations. She's like, hey, you know what? Why don't I go on YouTube while dad's in a meeting and go learn a magic trick and practice it? And then I'll go to dad and say, hey, dad, will you give me $1 if I can do a magic trick and then I can fake you? And I was like, yeah. And she did a magic trick with me a couple days ago. She took, you guys know those earbuds that have like the rubber inserts on them and it just kind of suctions to your ear? So she had 2 of those lying around the house. And she shows me one of them and she's like, hey, dad, I've got one in my hand. And then she closes it and she's like, blow on it. And I blow on it. And she's like, and then she throws it behind her back like this. Like I can clearly see what's going on. She throws it behind her back and she's like, it's gone. And I start to roll my eyes. And then she was palming another one. She had a second one unbeknownst to me. She was palming another one and like went to pull it out of my ear. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even see that coming. That was so good. That is definitely worthy of $1. Or we went to Olive Garden a couple weeks ago. And you guys know in the salads, you get those, I don't know what kind of peppers they are, like chili. What are those called? Those little green
peppercini.
Peppercini. Thank you. Dude, those are spicy. Those are some spicy peppers. I don't know if I'm just a whanny or if those are really, I think they're pretty spicy. Whanny. Thank you. Thanks, Larry. I'm glad we got this recorded. But my daughter was like, hey, dad, if I eat this, will you give me $1? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So the reason that I share this with you guys is because I really learned a lot from just looking at my kids. And I just wanted to pass that on to you guys. My 8-year-old daughter wakes up every single day with no limitations. There's nothing but opportunity. There's nothing but creativity. There's nothing but abundance. There is nothing but money. Everywhere that she looks, there is no shortage of opportunity to find or make $1. And she's already learning at a very young age that if she can go acquire a skill, and right now she's bringing it to me and the neighbors, whether that's magic, whether that's art, whatever it is, she gets paid in proportion to the caliber of skill that she brings to the marketplace. And she is consistent as hell at it. It's every single day. She's looking for somewhere, somehow, some opportunity. Sometimes it's skills. Sometimes it's simply just saying, hey, dad, I need $1. What if I clean your office? What if I go clean the car? What if I go do this? Like there's never a shortage of opportunity for her to go and make money. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. Hopefully somebody needed to hear this today and just have that reminder that, oh my gosh, you know what? Everybody that I've talked to is an opportunity to go make money. Nearly everybody has a job. So as a byproduct, nearly everybody's got some sort of retirement. What an opportunity to talk about their retirement plan. What an opportunity to bring up, hey, have you ever thought about leveraging your 401k through an IRA? I mean, I talk to people at church about this. I talk to people at my kids' school about this. I talk to people at the gym about this. I mean, literally, like that's just my worldview. Just like my daughter, I put these glasses on And everybody that I see has money. There's nothing but money. There's nothing but opportunity. So for anybody who just needed to hear that today, I just wanted to send that reminder to everybody. Give you guys something to think about. Give you guys just that kick, that punch, and just say, hey, you know what? All these things that you need, because it doesn't take money to make money, fam. It takes resources, and you have to become a person of resource, which is kind of a little bit about what I want to get into today. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys. So we're kind of kicking this thing off. I also want to share a couple wins and updates. Elena Bartash is a phenomenal, wonderful individual. If you guys don't know her, definitely go find her. She's doing an amazing job. She's one of my clients. She has really just come in. I mean, 6 months ago, where she is now, I mean, she's got YouTube channels, she's got podcasts, she's had so many big people on her podcast already. And 6 months ago, she didn't have any kind of a business. And to see where she was 6 months, I mean, she's raising capital, she's doing deals, she's buying co-living, she's got all these things going on. Anyway, she's having me on her podcast today, and we're going to be talking about building teams, partnerships, being able to identify, who should I bring into my business? That's a big part of what we're going to be talking about this afternoon. That's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll be streaming that on my YouTube channel. So if you guys want to watch that, that's definitely going to be information that's probably pertinent to, I would probably venture a guess, probably most people, if not everybody in here to some extent. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Also, Julie, I don't know if Julie's here. I saw Shannon in here. For those of you guys that missed it, or those of you guys, if you're not part of our Growth Co themed Facebook group, it is called the Growth Hub. You guys can go find it. It's on our community. Julie shared such a phenomenal message to everybody this morning. I just kind of want to reiterate this, and it coincides with what I just got done telling you guys. The money that you make every single month is a direct reflection to the caliber of skills that you bring to the marketplace. So I want you to think about that for a second. I think everybody, to some extent, gets so focused on their own business and what they need to be doing. What they're lacking is perspective on taking those skills and go and serving other freaking people with it. That's how you build relationships. That's how you build strategic relationships. These are 10x moves. While everybody else is so focused on their business and the underwriting and this system and this CRM and this automation and this AI, they're lacking relationships. This is a relationship game. Carlin has said this so many times, and I love the way that she framed this. But she's absolutely right. Real estate is not a monogamous relationship. You need people. I had the pleasure of going into a Zoom with Julie and a couple of the other Reen sisters. And this was maybe, I don't know, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, maybe something like that. And Julie, we talked about this. We talked about going in and focusing on one thing, like building a skill and then taking that skill to the marketplace. So as it so happens, Julie's husband has a background in sales. So I said, Julie, why don't you go? And this is what I did. I about three and a half years ago, somewhere in there, I started a brand new business, and I went from 0 to 72,000 in 60 days. In 2 months, I went from 0 to 72K because I focused on one thing. I didn't do dispositions. I didn't do paperwork. I didn't do automations. I didn't do CRM management. Like, I did none of that stuff. The only thing that I focused on was becoming the Michael Jordan of closing deals. I literally would spend 7-8 hours a day just focused on building the skill set around sales and negotiation and communication. And then guess what? Instead of trying to generate my own leads and do all these things all by myself, I took that skill to the marketplace. I went into all these different Facebook groups and said, hey, if you got leads coming in and you just don't have the skill set to close them, or you don't have the time to close them, let me get in there and close them for you. You know how many people were like, oh my gosh, Jesse, yes, that's exactly what I need. I've got a CRM. I've got leads coming in. They're just collecting dust because I can't do anything with them. And I made that the one thing that I focused on. And I'm so proud of Julie because that's exactly what she did. She took that same model, that same framework, that same perspective, and she immediately took action. And she's already got like a deal. She's got several deals lined up. This is, like I said, a week and a half, 2 weeks or something like that ago. So she went into Reen and said, "Hey guys, who's got leads that they need help closing?" And her phone was just blowing up like, "Oh my gosh, yes, yes, yes. I need that." So I just want to share that win real quick, and I want to share what she said, just so if there's anybody else that's just like struggling, if you guys are trying to figure out like where your next deal is coming from, where your next paycheck is coming from, and you don't have a mentor, you need one, because you can see how just a little shift in perspective in just a week or two, it's like, oh my gosh. So she said, "I recently had a guest speaker on January 29th, Jesse Stanton, to my own network here in Alaska, and he was right. If and when you offer other investors to call their warm leads in various Facebook groups, when they have more than what they can get to, you'll get many investors flocking over to what you have to offer them, and will make so much and will make money much faster before the month is over. I'm still learning about it, but we've been using my husband's gifts, talents, and abilities, and he's been making all the calls and already got 2 sellers for 2 Reen sister investors. One of those investors gave us a contact to a seller who ended up offering to sell 4 properties to us. This is a huge game changer." Jesse said, "I promise you, if you go meet 10 people a day, find out who they are, what they need, and use your talents and abilities to fill those needs, you will make money before the month is over." I didn't talk to 10 per day. I've had meetings with only 1 to 3 per day and talked to maybe 15 total Rain sisters, if that, over the last 2 weeks. But I've already got 5 possible positive outcomes with 2 more JV partners with more investors asking to meet us. Offering to call their warm leads is such a game changer. Thank you, Jesse. So when you see Julie, give her some freaking love. One of the biggest things anybody could do to change their business is just too many people. Here's what happens. Here's what happens, guys. Somebody gets handed the answers to the test. So when you guys come in here every single week, I'm giving you answers to the test. Now, the problem that most of you have is you get the answers to the test and you literally do nothing with it. You literally sit on it, you think about it, you're being entertained more than anything else. You get the answers to the test and you see like, oh, the answer to 1 is A. Cool. Answer to 2 is B. Okay, cool. Answer to 3 is D. And instead of going and taking the information and then just going and making money with it, the problem that most people have is they'll sit there and they'll stew on it like, oh, that's interesting. The answer to 1 is A. Well, gosh, I wonder why the answer to 1 is A. And a lot of people will either stew on it, they'll sit on it, they'll forget about it, they'll wonder about it and be like, man, I have no idea why the answer to 1 is A. But the people who minimize the amount of time it takes between idea to execution will make tons and tons and tons of money. I bet you guys know people that are probably way ahead of you, that are, in your perspective, you might look at some people that are ahead of you and just be like, oh my gosh, like these guys, like they're an idiot. Like they are stupid. And you know what? They honestly might be. But the thing that they have that you don't is the willingness to just take that step, regardless. And I just want to give props to Julie for taking that information from that one Zoom. And now she's in 2 weeks, basically. She's had just an overabundance of opportunity. She's completely reframed and shifted her entire perspective on her business and really how to go make money, how money works. So I'm really excited. So when you see Julie, please give her some love. Also, oh, you know what? This is really cool. One of the things I'm working on right now, going down to Squat Up. I don't know who all is going to Squat Up, but one of my goals is to be completely shredded by the time I get down to Squat Up. So I've been working really, really hard on my health, on my fitness, honing in my diet. And for any dads that are in here, I don't know. I don't think Zach or Nathaniel are in here, but if you want, like, I don't get paid for this or anything. I genuinely want you guys to know, like Zach and Nathaniel, who are really great friends of mine, started a fit fatherhood community for like $97 a month or something like that. Like I just checked, I stood on the scale this morning. I'm down 6 pounds in like a week and a half. So I'm so excited for that. I'm so excited for them. I love what they're doing. So if you guys, if there's any dads that are also trying to um, get their health in check and just be around a community, because that's the biggest thing that's going to aid in anybody's success is just changing your environment, being around the community. So if anybody wants more information, go check out like Fit Fatherhood. I think they've got it's a school group now that I think about it. So if there's anybody that wants to get in here, get their health in check, be around, other dads that are trying to do the same thing, being able to share struggles and wins and things like that. It's a great community. So I just want to throw that out there. Before I jumped in here, I don't know, you know what? Let me see if I can share this, and then I'm going to get to the core of today's message. I heard this thing from Alex Hormozy, and I guess I didn't really have any intent on like sharing this, but I did save it because I like to go back and reference things. It just kind of helps kind of reinforce certain principles and things in my core philosophies as I'm kind of changing who I am. And so I really, really love this because this is something that I'm really, really good at and do anyway. But for anybody who just needs to hear this, sometimes you can hear the same thing and you hear it from different people and it just like hits differently. So I just kind of want to play this here for a second. Just if you guys don't know already, every time you come to these lives, you should have a pen and a notepad ready to go. You should be taking action. So here's what Alex had to say on it.
Listening to this right now has listened to 1,000 fucking podcasts, and they're in the exact same condition, and yet they have not changed their behavior, which means 1, they have not learned, and 2, they are dumb. Which also means that if you can control your behavior, you can also control how intelligent you are. And so if you want to be a smart cookie, then it means that you just decrease the amount of times that you do not change your behavior under the same conditions. And so when I think about this, when I teach my team, when I teach anyone, I think in these conditions. And so every time you watch or you consume a piece of content, you read a book, if you think, what behavior am I going to change as a result of this? If the answer is nothing, you wasted your time and you pretended to be learning, but you were really entertaining yourself. And so that frame has been incredibly helpful for me to speed up how quickly I take action because I don't want to be a dodo bird.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. A couple of weeks ago, I shared with you guys, I would attribute 90% of my success to simply just the things I consume, mainly books. And then what I'm really good at is going back. I minimize the amount of time that I take action between something that I read or I need an idea that I have and then just going and executing on it. There isn't ever a time where I waste, and I used to jump into all sorts of Zooms. I used to consume all sorts of information and literally do nothing with it. And one of the things that I learned as an instructor in the Air Force, when you learn to speak, when you take like public speaking courses, you guys have probably heard things like filler words. You guys have probably seen people when they get up to speak, they have a bunch of ums and ahs and likes and awkward pauses. And when you go through that kind of training, you start to notice those things in other people. When you go through the training, you learn how to be a professional public speaker. Every time you see somebody else go and speak, you're already just judging them. Not necessarily in a bad way, but you're auditing them. You're auditing that process. And the things that you used to get critiqued on, you start noticing those in other people. And that's why coaching is so effective, because a lot of the things that I've already done, I can guide other people and say, hey, bypass this entire thing. But I'm really keen on what Alex had to say because I noticed that in myself. I noticed there were so many times during my first year where I would jump and I would just consume and I wouldn't take notes. And I thought that I was educating myself, but really I was just becoming entertained. So every time you guys come in here, you need to have a notepad. You need to have a pen. I give you guys action steps. I give you guys things to do every single week. And this is all free. We get to be intimate in here, which is really, really cool. So I want to give you guys that reminder, something else to be thinking about. Urjan's dropping 30 by squat up. Baby, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Love it, guys. All right. So what I wanted to talk about today, wanted to talk about CEO stuff. I want to be talking about mindset. You guys have already heard you need to be building a team. You need to stop working in the business and start working on the business. You guys have heard me talk about you need to become an entirely different person. Because that's the truth. The results that you guys are looking for, the results that you guys have been then seeking, the milestones, the goals, everything that you're trying to obtain is not done through hard work. Everybody's a hard worker these days. And if that was the measure to success, everybody would be a millionaire. You must be working harder on yourself than you do your job. You know what? As a matter of fact, that's exactly what I tell my team. Pretty weird, right? Jesse, why would you tell your team to be working harder on themselves than they do in their job? Put it in the chat. What do you guys think? Why would I tell my team, hey, I want you working harder on yourself than you do in this company? By the way, I hope you guys are writing this stuff down. Put it in the chat. Jody, you hit the nail on the head. The more they grow, the more they produce and level up. %. Naomi says self-development allows for maximizes efficiency. That's it.
I was trying to say maximized. I put an S again. It's maximized efficiency.
I know what you meant. You have to become the person first, because as you encourage and empower your team to also become that person first, guess what? Everything they do is a byproduct of what that person does and is capable of, and how that person thinks and manifests. Have you guys ever heard people say, oh man, if I had $1 million, like I wouldn't do shit. Like I would just go sit on the beach and drink margaritas all day. Like, why do you work so hard? You guys ever heard anybody say that in your entire life? I have. Tons of people. And it's like that right there. That's why you're not a fucking millionaire.
Excuse me?
Who's off mute? Make sure you guys mute yourselves when you come in here. Here we go. You have to become the person first. The person who's capable of going and creating that kind of money would not go generate that kind of money, would not go become that kind of person to deliver this kind of value to the marketplace, would not be this kind of person building strategic relationships to make that kind of money, and then just be like, oh, you know what? I see Mike's in here. Mike, what up, dog? Let's say I went and delivered, or I built a strategic relationship with Mike, and together we went and made all this money. There's no way in heck that that kind of person would then go and build that kind of relationship with Mike and then be like, all right, I've made it. Now I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to leave everybody hanging that I had built relationships with to produce this type of income and create these kind of opportunities. So you have to become the person first. And I was sharing this with a couple clients last week, and this is how I want to convey how I want you guys thinking in your business. Dana, oh, I just saw your comment. There are ladies present. Carry on. Something like that, I just want to be very truthful and upfront with you. My intent, if I drop an F-bomb or something like that, it is not to offend anybody, but I'm also not going to be apologetic about who I am. And I say that with all the love and sincerity. So I love you, and my intent is not to, drop those and offend anybody or anything like that. So I just want you to know. But I appreciate you pointing that out, and but I want to be upfront and sincere with you too. I want you guys to think, how many parents are in here, by the way? Put a 1 in the chat if you're a parent. Okay, cool. So we've got a handful of parents in here. Here's how I want you to think. Let's say, what's today? Thursday. So tomorrow is Friday. Let's say that on Friday, you have people coming over for dinner. You're having a big dinner party tomorrow night. So we've got a little over 24 hours. We've got about 30 hours or so. And your house just needs to be cleaned. Your kids have run rampant in there all day. There's toys all over the place. Their rooms are a mess. The bathroom's a mess. There's towels everywhere. There's clothes everywhere. You got dishes in the sink. There's food on the table. The living room is a mess. The pillows are all over the place. Let's say all these things need to be done. Now, here's what most parents do. I'd probably venture a guess and say all parents do. If that was the scenario, I would bet that you as the parent would be vacuuming. I bet that you would be mopping. I bet that you would be refilling the soap in the bathrooms. I bet you would be doing the laundry. I bet you would be doing the dishes. You'd be cleaning the countertops. You'd be sanitizing the table. I mean, you would probably be doing a lot of this stuff. Meanwhile, maybe half yelling at your kids that they need to clean their room. Pansy says, yep. Okay, cool. So everybody can relate with this. When I say you have to become the kind of person that is capable of making that kind of money here, take notes here, fam. Take notes here. I'm giving you some freaking golden nuggets here. Take notes. This is what I'm talking about. Metaphorically speaking, I'm going to give you, in this scenario, I'm going to draw a parallel between this scenario and your business. Now, just like when your house needs to be cleaned because you're under pressure, right? You've got people that are coming in 30 hours from now. So you end up doing it all. And just like in your business, you will always have pressure in your business. You'll always have fires to put out in your business. And you as the CEO, put yourself in that position, metaphorically speaking, of going and cleaning the bathrooms, of you doing the dishes, of you cleaning the countertops, of you cleaning your kids' room, folding the laundry, doing the laundry, putting all your kids' toys away. Let me throw this scenario out at you. What if I was to come over to your house? I don't know how many of you, I'm gonna throw this scenario out. Somebody's gonna go in the comments and be like, I don't have a lazy boy. Not the point. You're missing the point here. Let's say you have a lazy boy. And let's say I duct tape you to that lazy boy. You cannot get up. You cannot move. There's actually, as a matter of fact, you can't move at all until maybe an hour or so right before the guests come over for you to get ready. So let's say you're duct taped to this chair for the next 28 and a half hours. Now, if you're like me, you've got 4 kids. What kind of person do you need to become in order to communicate and incentivize your kids to get this house cleaned? What type of person do you need to become to ensure that everything gets done to the standard that you put in place in a very organized and in a very specific fashion? What type of person do you need to become? How well do you need to communicate? How well do you need to strategize? What room do you start with? Why do you start there? Are we getting low apples for off the tree first? Or are you making this harder? Are you delegating authority? How resourceful do you become now? What kind of resources would you pool? I could sit in a lazy boy. I would go tell my daughter to go clean my office as an example. And then I would say, here, take my phone and I want you to record a video. And I want you to record a video of what this looks like right now. I want you to get each corner. I want you to video underneath the desk. I want you to video the window, looking for handprints. I want you to video behind my guitars. I want you to video the top of the desk. Like, what kind of person would you have to become to really be able to slow down and understand that the people below you aren't seeing things from your perspective? As a parent, be honest here. Put a 1 in the chat if your kids have ever just pissed you off so much where you're just like, oh my gosh, like I'm about to lose my shit. Or maybe you do. I have. One time I was in a meeting and my 2-year-old got into, you guys know that candy Fun Dip? She got into a Fun Dip. We had Fun Dip. We had a whole bunch of like Fun Dip pouches for Halloween. And I'm sitting here on a podcast. I think I was on a podcast. And she's standing right next to me, just off camera, ripping it open and pouring green sugar all over my carpets. And I'm trying not to lose my ever-loving shit on camera. So what type of emotional regulation do you need to have? When you get heated, how is that going to affect your ability to lead your kids? Now, your kids aren't going to care about the house being to a certain standard the way that you are. And you know what? Your team is also not going to care about your business the way that you do. So how are you properly aligning? What kind of game are you creating? Where when they look and they see their role inside your business, there's a direct correlation between how the business grows and how they benefit. There's a really interesting statistic when you look at billionaires. Billionaires have a much higher EQ than IQ. Now, if you don't know, EQ is basically their emotional intelligence. Most adults, when it comes to their level of emotional tolerance, most adults have the emotional stamina of that of an 8-year-old. The only difference is that adults are just better at hiding it. So think about that for a second. Most adults have the emotional stamina of an 8-year-old. So in this scenario where you've got to get your house cleaned, you have a deadline, you have people coming over. What type of person do you need to become? How do you incentivize your kids? Is it with money? Is it with trips to Walmart or the dollar store? Is it a party? Is it a new Xbox game? And how do you tie that reward to the thing you have them doing? What types of systems and processes do you have in place for them to be able to self-check? Is this helping, guys? Give me some feedback here. Is this helping really kind of helping you to take a step back and just really see, oh, wow. Because here's the thing. I want you to write this down. $1 million business is not built on $10 an hour tasks. Yet I guarantee every single person in here, and I never venture a guess to assume, but just I can go off statistics here. I can just go ahead and assume that every single person in here is not where they want to be, because metaphorically, you're doing your own laundry in your business. You're cleaning your own bathrooms. You're cleaning up after your kids. Larry's like 2 hands way up. So if you didn't do it, how would that get done? What kind of person would you have to be to ensure that that still got done? What kind of skills would you have to acquire? What kind of patience would you have to build? So when something needs to get done in your business, if you are really serious about scaling, if you're really serious about your growth and where you want to be, this is the foundation. This is how I want you looking at your business. I want you looking at your business as if you're duct taped to your chair and you've got guests coming over for a house party in less than 24 hours, or I guess a little over 24 hours. And you've got 4 kids. What type of person do you need to become? Now, I want you to think about this. When you have officially done that and your guests come over, your kids may not have cleaned the house perfectly. And you have to be willing to let your kids fail. You have to be willing to let guests come over to your house and they may see things that aren't clean. And that might make you uncomfortable. And you have to be comfortable with getting that kind of feedback so that you can then go tell and teach your kids. And then you start developing a process. You start putting together a checklist for your kids to do it better next time based on that feedback. You got to be willing to give them grace. And you know what? Because you've never done this before, of course you're going to screw it up. Of course you're not going to be clear in your communication. Of course you're just going to assume your kid should just do it because they've been living with you long enough. They should just know. No, they shouldn't. I'm a big fan of extreme accountability. And basically, in short, my perspective on that is everything is your fault. You're duct taped to this chair. Your bathroom floors need to get squeaky clean. But if they didn't get touched, or if a dry paper towel was all that went over them, and you were to look at that scenario from the perspective of, that is my fault, what would you learn? Even if that task or that role fell under the umbrella of somebody else's authority on your team. Even if you had your oldest kid go and do that, they still messed it up. Instead of completely losing your shit, coming off the hinges, not handling your emotions, how could you sit your oldest down and give them a very thorough feedback? I'll tell you guys, everybody write this down right now. When things like this happen in my business, this is how I've become such an effective leader. I wasn't always like this. This took lots and lots and lots of work. It took lots of failure. It took lots of people saying, Jesse, you suck. It took lots of people leaving my team. And for the longest time, I'm like, well, screw them. This is their fault. Why did they leave? This was on them. This had nothing to do with me. Like, they sucked. Like, they should have done this and they should have done that. Like, no, it wasn't. Now, sometimes that is the case, but my point being is when you look at it, if you just assume that everything is your fault, you want to know how much more you'll learn. You want to know how drastic your skill set will explode from looking at everything from that perspective. You know how different you'll communicate? You won't explode on your kids anymore for cleaning the bathroom. You'll take the time to understand, what was it that I said and what did you hear? Let me start to understand where the gap or lapse was in understanding between what I communicated and what you heard. Because oftentimes, just like on a team, oftentimes, and I'll be honest with you, there were a lot of times in my life that I've made the mistake of holding my kids to a standard that I set. And then when they failed to meet those expectations, guess whose emotions were left unchecked? Mine. Now I'm a lot more conscious of meeting my kids where they are and their understanding. They don't have 34 years of world experience. Same with your guys' team. So this is what I wanted to give you today. This is my gift to you guys today. When I say you have to become the type of person, if you want to go make $1 million, then you just have to become the type of person that can deliver that value of skill set to the marketplace. Well, what type of skill set does a millionaire have? Well, it starts here. They are excellent leaders. They are phenomenal communicators. I want everybody to write this down. Millionaires build systems and processes. Billionaires build people. Is this landing with anybody? Is this helpful? Let me know in the comments. What did you guys need to hear today? What was the big thing that stood out for you? What was the takeaway here? Shannon, I'm right there with you. Pansy, what's up, my friend?
Hey, Jesse. I really like your analogy today because being a stay-at-home mom, a domestic engineer, for the longest time, even before my marriage, I was a domestic engineer, a single mom at the time. So when I came into real estate, I had to learn. I was very organized in the way, like you used about the cleaning and all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had a schedule type of, and it turns into a system in order to make everything work when you're the only one that's operating all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to turn that over into the business side, taking those skills and making them relatable, is something I've been working on. And so today you kind of like gave me some more kind of ideas, like, and I was, Jesse, I gotta say this. A lot of times the things that I am working out in my brain, you come along and speak like almost the exact same thing. And I'm like, holy crap, this guy's in my head. So I
So this was timely, it sounds like.
Yes, I genuinely appreciate that you do have the ability to say things so well and express those, because you speak probably for many other people that are learning still how to find their voice and the structure and get the word, be able to share and help others with it. So thank you.
I received that. Thank you. Thank you so much. That really, truly means a lot. I appreciate that feedback. Thank you so much. I
I
appreciate you
just
sharing
wanted to
that, Pansy.
piggyback. Can I piggyback off Pansy?
Of course. Well, where's your camera at, Naomi? You know this.
Oh my goodness.
Camera's on, girl. Camera's on.
Bro, you saw me right now. I am going through a season. And anywho, yeah, I was just about to wash my twisties. Let me clean my camera. You just, oh gosh. I said I was gonna come out here with my hair combed all the time.
You're good, friend. Let's go. We're all
right.
hustling here, man.
So Pansy, she hits the nail on the head. Like you articulate things. Sometimes it's like what we consider a bottleneck or drawing a blank, and then you'll come along and say, you're supposed to sit still in this season to figure this part out, like, or confusion is a part of the process, right? If you're especially the bigger the vision, you should reach a point at various times where it's like you've broken your business, and how do I get to the next thing? And so I've felt on a number of occasions that you were in my head as well. And then greatest takeaway here, reframing it to be my fault, everything being my fault. That is powerful in the sense that if you apply that to every single situation where it's like, okay, I delegated this task and my teammate couldn't facilitate it. Was there a problem with the way that I articulated the instruction?
Mm.
Or was the problem that I chose the wrong person to carry out this particular thing?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you put everything back on yourself, it causes you to be in a constant state of refining. And that's also one of the distinctions between millionaires and billionaires. Billionaires recognize that they are on a never ending learning journey. And so even when things are going well, even in the best of times, there's something to refine, right?
Mm-hmm.
We grew up on the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But that's a limited mindset. Because if you're constantly looking for the best way to handle a situation, or the best person, or you may have a person in a position and you recognize that they would be so much better in another position based on the skills that they have, based on the journey that they're on.
Hello, wholesale.
So they apply for one thing, and it's like, because you've developed the ability to read people, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, I know you applied for this, but what do you think about this? And then you can find that they're a better fit. So just taking accountability for everything that goes wrong, because again, it's your baby. It's your vision, and nobody else is going to see it the way that you see it. No one else is going to be as passionate about it as you are. So you've got to make a game out of it. And as a parent of 5, that resonates with me hard. Like, how do I get them to do what I want them to do and make it fun for them? Like, make it a competition. So like my son, my 17-year-old, he's super smart. And because of this, he's a master procrastinator. He waits until the last minute to do his assignments because he knows he can do them in record time and da 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 da. And so I will go weeks and weeks and weeks of telling him to do his assignments, and he'll wait till the day before the grades go in and get them done.
Yep.
So what I do is I'm like, so I have we have little contests, like we might do an IQ test and like see who's got the highest IQ, or I do his assignment and he does his assignment, and let's see who could do the assignment faster.
Oh,
Okay, because if you're so smart, then you should be able to do it faster than me, but he never does, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like there's still room for improvement. And if you can do this at this rate of speed, then imagine having done it when it was assigned and how much more time that would allow you to do something else that's like self-development. Like he had to create an app for one of his classes and the assignment was overdue for weeks. And then he finally, he wanted to do something. He wanted to go out last weekend with his friends and he knew he can't even bring the argument to me that he wants to go anywhere without making sure his assignments are done. And so he comes to me, he's like, Mom, I built an app in 2 hours. I was like, dude, that's crazy. So I'm thinking, I'm not thinking it's an assignment. I'm like, so what kind of app is it? What does it do? Like, what prompted you to do it? He was like, Mom, now you know it was an assignment. I didn't do it on my own for no reason. And I'm like, oh, right, duh. I was all proud mom for a minute because I'm sending them all this marketing stuff and all this stuff. Like, learn this. I'm telling you, you can be. Anyway, so as a parent, and it's really easy for me to visualize what that looks like to incentivize them to for my third grader. It's like I give her that her board has 100 sight words on it. And then I set a timer. How fast can you read these 100 words? Right. And we're it's us versus us, like ourselves versus ourselves. So wow, you did it in this amount of time, but this is what they're looking for on the assessment. So let's make sure that we're able to read, because you should be able to read 200 words in a minute, with these 3-letter words. So anyway, just constantly pushing. So when it comes to adults, like you say, the average adult has the emotional intelligence of an 8-year-old. That's why they have this term called crashing out, because people don't know how to manage their emotions. People don't know how to put themselves in other people's shoes. People, are reactive and almost in a volatile way more often than not.
Yep.
And it's part of the culture. It's part of what's being, preached to the people. It's just weird. It's weird. It's a weird world that we live in. And so if you're someone with a high emotional IQ, you already stand out because you could almost be like a puppet master. So you can use it for good or you can use it for evil, right? Some people use it for evil, but we are not those people. We recognize that this is a gift from the creator. The ability to communicate, the ability to reach people and to touch people is a gift. And so if we don't wield this gift properly, we're going to have to answer to the big guy in a way that we don't want to have to do. So it's not only in our best interest to help people, but when we're building our team to be the next generation of go-givers, right? We play our part in making the world a better place. Now, obviously, no human or no man-made institution is going to right all the wrongs in the world, but we can most certainly leave a place better than we found it. We can leave people better than we found them. And then they'll go on and do the same thing. And then, you know what I'm saying? If nothing else, we'll have a dope community of people that we can trust, even when the world is a cold, dark place. You know what I'm saying? You have a safe place. You have a safe landing spot, and that's what this is. And so, yeah.
Love
Thank
that,
you.
Naomi. Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming in here and sharing all that. Wonderful,
thank you for putting me on
amazing
blast.
perspective.
And I would have had my hair combed.
Thanks for turning your cat. Hey, I don't got my hair combed either, man.
Man, look, but your hair does this thing naturally. My third grader was actually like ticking me off at the moment. You was like, your kids ever like really like pissed you off to the highest level of pistility? Heck yeah. Okay. Because every single time that I leave them to their own devices, they fall behind. They want me there to make school fun for them. And I get that, but mommy is trying to build a business. Like mommy is trying to get us out of this situationship. Okay. And so like they understand the whole team spirit thing because I've been preaching that to them since they were born. So they understand that. And my 18-year-old is stepping up to help the kindergartner, the third grader. All she has to do is be on time and listen to her teachers, and she'll be okay throughout the process. But no, she'll hit done, done, done on all her assignments. And then I'm like, gee, why you got C's and D's? Like, what's going on? And then I go to all those assignments that she checked off as done, because you can trick the system into taking it off of your overdue list. But when I go to the grades page, it's going to tell the real story. And I'm like, gee, you got D's and C's and F's. Oh my gosh. That sends me like it's, and then she's like, okay, well, how much work do I have to do before I can go out and play? Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to not mention the word play to me right now. Okay. Matter of fact, I'd like for you to work until you go to sleep tonight. Okay. Like, how dare you? After I got you all the way up, for January. January was a fresh start. It was a new marketing period. Now here we are in February and you've already made a muck of the grades, bro. So let me go ahead and address this again, which is going to take another few days out of my life because I can't just do the assignments for like I can with my teenagers, because as long as they know how to do it, I don't care about doing their homework because most of it is busy work anyway. But when it comes to things that you actually have to learn, now I have to go through and make sure you know the different types of muscles and the different types of the difference between tendons. I have to actually do this. So now this is going to be time consuming, which is going to take away from the business, which I'm already working on clarity. So I need to be still. I need to just lock myself in the office and just do my thing. Sometimes I wish I had it in me to be a deadbeat. You know what I'm saying? Like I could just leave for a week and come
But
back.
figure it out, girl. You're that kind of person.
I am going to figure it out. I am going to figure it out. But I hate when I feel like I'm moving slower than I should be. And
I think everybody feels like that. So it's that's just part of the process. Is everybody feels like that. At no point as an entrepreneur, Naomi, you or anybody else, no point will you ever look back and see where you are. Not even look back. Just at no point will you ever just wake up and be like, man, you know what? I feel like where I'm at right now is directly in line with the amount of effort that I've put in. I'm pretty satisfied with where I'm at. I'm exactly where I should be right now. Like you're always gonna feel like you're behind. You're always gonna be like, man, all the time, energy, and effort. I'm juggling everything, the kids, everything, man. Like I had all these things, all these fires I was putting out. I built the team. I've done this thing, and I'm still not here, and yada yada yada.
But that's not how I'm
for
feeling,
the
though,
rest of your
right?
life.
I'm not feeling like the amount of effort I've put into this, it should be so much further along. I am cognizant of the fact that I'm not putting enough effort into the thing because of either, after dealing with them, now I got to take however long to recalibrate and focus and figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm the bum that's waking up on accident, like, okay, what was I supposed to do today? After I'm derailed with them for 3-4 hours that I had not planned, then it's like, okay,
Well,
what am I doing?
think about it from this perspective. Like, what would need to be true in my environment for me to be able to spend the time that I need to with my kids to get them where they need to be and still have my business running optimally? What would need to be true in my environment?
I would need to work with them until 12 noon and
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about your time management. I'm talking about what we talked about today. You're duct taped to a chair.
Okay.
How does everything get done without you doing it? Go and do. I'm going to let you chew on that.
Okay.
If you had 6 hours, I'm just throwing it as an example. If you had 6 hours, you had to sit with your kids every day and go through homework and make sure that they're doing the things and making the progress that they need to be making, and still feel like your business is pushing forward with the momentum that you know that it should be. What needs to be true in your environment for that type of result to happen? And then make a list of it. And then who do you need to become to go get those resources? I'm going to leave you with that. I want you to go chew on that. Cool.
Gotcha. 10-4.
You're awesome. All right. I saw a couple hands up, but I don't know. They went back down. So
It was my hand, and instead of getting on camera, I went on to sub 2, and I'm just giving you a shout there.
you went on to sub 2 and did what?
I'm giving you credit there.
Oh, well, thank you. Was there anything that you wanted to ask or
You
go over?
you guys brought fire. Like I seriously was so done and exhausted, and like seriously, I am not the only one that can clean this place or take care of things. I am like overdone. And so I loved how you're like tie yourself to a chair, which I have done, and figured out how to do it from there, which I'm doing the camera move, but I only have one of the three and I'm working on the other two. So it was just fire. So I'm like going to give you credit on sub 2. That was awesome. I needed
Oh my
that.
gosh, Michelle, thank you so much. That truly means a lot to me. Thank you. I'm glad it sounds like you got what you needed then today.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sonja, what up, friend?
I didn't have a question.
Okay. You have something you just wanted to.
I just wanted to give a shout out to you always, and to Naomi, and tell her that her braids are beautiful. I did something. I've been I've been going through some things over the years. I was my mother's caregiver for 25 years. And it caused me, it's some things that went on that just caused me not to like myself. And I stopped taking pictures. And I took a picture Sunday, and it wasn't perfect. I was trying to figure out how to do a selfie, and everybody was smiling. I forgot to smile. And I had some gum in my mouth, and I forgot to stop chewing. And usually I would have deleted that, but I didn't delete it. As a matter of fact, I shared it with as many people as I could until my phone told me not to do it anymore because I was using too many resources. And you know who helped me get there? I don't know if you might not know him, but his name is Jesse R. Stanton. You might be familiar with him.
I've heard the name.
Yeah. And I just want to know, I mean, I let you know, I know I tell you this all the time, that I am blessed to have you in my orbit. You have helped me to get over some emotional and mental hurdles that I've been dealing with for decades. And I love you for that, and I appreciate you. I'm so happy that you have this group of people, and we all love on each other. And because it begins at leadership, and you're the leader of this group, so you teach us by your example to love on each other as much as we can. And I just wanted to tell Miss Naomi, you are our Nubian queen. You look beautiful to me, braids and robe and all.
I agree. I ditto that.
Because what you did was courageous. And when you did that, and this is a public uh, viewing of however many people are here, showing your courageous spirit to allow yourself to be that vulnerable, it gives us courage to do the same thing in the future. And I appreciate you for that now.
I was thinking about you, Sonja, when I did it, because when he told me to you know what I'm saying, come on camera, I'm like, no, man, this ain't the best look. But I remember the day that you didn't want to come on camera, and I was like, Sonja, like, seriously, we got to see that phase. And then you came on camera. So I was like, okay, Sonja is in the room. What I look like not getting on camera when I, you know what I'm saying, called her out for the same thing. So you're right. Iron sharpens iron. And
Exactly.
it's a safe space. And those that know that I am something like America's Next Top Model when I put it together. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
clean up nicely and stuff. This is just my, going through it look. Okay. But I'm gonna pop out later because matter of fact, it's another city hall meeting tonight about the downtown corridor project. So yeah, I'm gonna be out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take a picture. Y'all gonna be like, dang, that's Shorty from earlier. Yes, she cleans up, she cleans up, you know. And just
Queen of Gary.
speaking of Jesse, right? Because he makes you get out there. He just like pushes you out of your comfort
Yeah.
zone and
Yeah.
makes you do the things, right? So the 5 non-negotiables, I have not done the 5 non-negotiables perfectly, right? But even in my half-hearted attempts, because there have been some days where I know I skipped. I get this weird text message out of nowhere the other day that says, I am the editor. Hold on. I'm gonna read it to you verbatim because it was so weird. Because I'm like, who the heck is this? It said that, hi, Naomi. My name is Brianna, and I am the Business and Economic Development Reporter for Capital B Gary. I am reaching out because I'm doing an article about the money that the city of Gary received to remove blight in the city. I got your number from my editor, Javante, who spoke of your work in this area. Would you be willing to speak on this topic for 10 to 20 minutes? I'm like, who the hell is Javante? I don't even know Javante. Now, I wanted to ask her who was Javante, but I didn't want to seem unprepared, right? So I just went to the paper's website and I saw all of the staff, and I noticed that Javante was one of the staff. After looking at Javante, going to Facebook, I'm not even friends with Javante. That means Javante heard about me through somebody else.
Yeah.
Somebody else who clearly has my phone number because she got to my number. She didn't DM me. She texted me. So her fellow editor gave her my number from somebody else that gave him my number. And they think I'm doing something, Gary, and all I'm doing is creating networks. I ain't did nothing. I haven't even wholesaled in Gary. I mean, I wholesaled in Northwest Indiana. My real estate experience started in Atlanta, but I've been building networks because there's a difference between networking and building networks. I've been building networks, doing that leader type stuff. You know what I'm saying? That world class leader type stuff that Jesse be talking about, right? And people think I'm over here moving and shaking. So this appointment is for 4:30 this afternoon. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Okay, I don't. She don't even know. I don't even like politics. Okay, so I don't know about that grant that she's talking about, but I'm going to make sure that she knows who I am. I'm
Yeah.
going to, I did a little digging on her. So I did
Mm-hmm.
previous articles. Some of them were really, really good. So I'm going to give her some kudos and flowers and talk about her great writing style because she is very, my type with that. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to establish a relationship with her so that when I am doing big things, guess what? I'm going to have an editor's phone number to call and say, hey, put my story in your paper.
Yeah.
I'm doing this house. I'm building a house in a week. You got to come out and see this. So yeah,
Love it.
it's all coming together, honey.
Yeah.
Just
You
gotta
have your
put that
social
face
do
out there.
press releases and all that, right?
Yep, you just gotta do it. Do it scared. Do it with the imposter syndrome. Do it with the anxiety of life and everything else. Just do it, man.
Yeah.
Nike, just do
Yeah.
it.
Amen. Amen, Naomi. Amen.
Mhm.
You go and you just be yourself and you're gonna shine.
Period, Pooh. Period.
Yeah, just be your authentic Naomi and you'll be fine.
No makeup. Just gonna throw my lashes and my lip gloss on. My lip gloss gonna be popping,
Me
and
too. Me too.
I'm gonna be looking like I'm ready. She ready.
Speaking of which,
And
I got a lunch I
all
got
of
to
this
go
is
get ready for. I got to go put my war paint on.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Well,
so
Jesse, we
anyway,
appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you too. Thank you, Sonja. Thank you, Naomi. Thank you for you guys' contributions and for being here. Sincerely, I really mean this. Like, thank you for your friendship. Like, this is so cool. I don't see any other Zooms that run this way, and it's not me. It's you guys, and you guys make this atmosphere and this friendship and this family. Larry used the term family in here. I love that he used that. This is a family in here, and so it's really neat. And like you guys said, being able to come in here and be vulnerable and to be courageous and to be scared and do it anyway. Iron sharpens iron, like you said, Sonja. So I get just as much out of it from you guys do. So sincerely, thank you for the opportunity to be here and to grow right alongside you guys. I
And
love you
thank you
all.
for being generous with your energy because when you be leaving those voice memos, I be responding in my heart. A lot of times I get choked up because I be going through something at that moment. And I be like, he saw me again. And so when you're generous with your energy that way, it's like it helps me to recalibrate in the moment at times. So
Love
thank
that.
you. Thank
You're
you.
most welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for everybody being here. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for jumping in. Again, we do this every single Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. If you guys aren't in the Facebook group, make sure you guys are in our, well, not in the Facebook group. I mean, I'm assuming everybody's in here because you're in the Facebook group. But if you guys don't know, we have a chat inside the Facebook group where we share a lot of this stuff. So it's called the Growth Hub. So I share a bunch of stuff in there, a lot of resources, wins, things like that, things you guys are going to need. So make sure you guys get in there. With that said, I love you all. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. I'm going to go enjoy lunch with another strategic relationship that I built. I'm really excited for what that turns into. So thank you guys. You know what? I would love to be able to come back. Go inside the Growth Co Facebook group and just post what your takeaway was from today. I saw a lot of really great things in the chat. I would love to actually kind of open up the dialogue a little bit with you more inside the Facebook group throughout the week. One thing I'm a really big fan of is just like Alex said, like I want you guys coming in here and just being entertained, for lack of a better term. So go open the dialogue in the Facebook group. I'd love to have a dialogue with you. I'd love to explore more about why this was important to you, what you have, and what you're going to go do with it. So go leave a comment in the Facebook group. What did you take away? What was the biggest thing? What did you need to hear today? Love that. Love you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate y'all. You guys have an awesome rest of your day.